the Travel and Transformation Show with me, your host, Sophia. And my guest today is Jasmine Perry. So, Jasmine is a world traveler who has mastered the art of slow travel, often staying in places for extended periods of time for the perfect balance between tourist and local. She is an actress and the author of several books. She's one of the few people I know who is actually living her dreams. She's the founder of Dreams Only. She's doing all of this while maintaining her full-time career. So instead of asking, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, we have to ask, where does Jasmine Perry? And yes, I am fangirling a little because I just love that I'm seeing somebody who is doing what she loves. She is actually living her dreams. And it's something that a lot of my clients can't seem to do. They're stuck and they're just unable to switch into the identity of the woman who lives her dreams in the most fulfilling way. So I wish I could take credit for the fact that Jasmine did this, but she was just born this way. And I just happen to be lucky enough to know her and watch her live. And she inspires many people around her. So it's just, I want what she has in her life is what I want to help my clients achieve, is to just live their lives out loud, unapologetically, be unstoppable, and just do the damn thing. That is what I want from my clients, and that is what I see in her. So welcome, Jasmine, and thank you so much for being here today.
I mean, that was the sweetest introduction. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
So clearly, you guys, I do know her. And so a lot of my guests I have met and we've spoken, but Jasmine I actually know. And it's thrilling to have her on just because I know her on several different levels. So I want you to know a little bit about her. So one of the one things I want to bring up is that I said she's an author. She's written several books. So the first set of books she wrote were children books. And then this next book that I would like to talk about is a grown-up book. And it's, well, you tell us, because I haven't even let you talk yet, because I'm still fangirling. So go ahead, you tell us about your book.
Okay, so from kids' books, I thought the natural next progression would be to write a sex book for adults. But but no, honestly, it came from my relationship went wrong. I had a 12-year relationship go wrong. We were together for 12 years. But one of the problems in our relationship was desire, not communicating around desire. And it ended up causing a detrimental situation in my former relationship. So as a result, I took a tantra course, and the program was for about 2 years. And I even did some travel. I was in Costa Rica doing the Tantra retreat, all the things. So I've did sexual travel, if you will. But over the course of that period, I learned a lot of things that I thought were foundational that a lot of people should know. And then it gave me a chance to reflect on my own sexual journey. And sex has been such a big part of that journey, but a part that a lot of people don't want to talk about openly. So it's hard to find guidance around it. So I just thought, like, what are some things about sex that I wish I had known from the beginning that I didn't have to learn the hard way? So I put all of that stuff into a book, and then I just turned 40 this year. So I thought, 40 sex lessons from me to you would be appropriate. So that's where this book came from.
Well, I love that because let's be honest, sex is not something that we openly talk about. Even in 2026, a lot of women are still not talking about sex. And when it comes to desire, because I talk about desire a lot, but when I do that, I'm talking about desire in general. Like, what are the things in life that you want? But if you're truthful and you're not getting it, one of the things in life that you truly desire as a woman is to be pleasured and to be pleased and to feel good and to be feeling intrinsically sexy and sensual without having outside validation. To be able to wake up and look at yourself and be like, damn, mm, and how many people actually do that? And how many people actually know their bodies because they take time to learn her?
Mhm. And then you'll notice, how people something that we don't think about, um, for not everyone, but for a lot of people, how you show up sexually, even in that bedroom, it even says a lot about how you move through the world.
Mhm.
Like whether you're guarded in this space, insecure in this space, afraid in this space. Like a lot of those attributes that you might exhibit in an intimate setting, they pour out into how you move through the world. So I
Mhm.
think kind of conquering and unleashing that beautiful sexual side of yourself that everybody always tries to box in
Yeah.
can not only help you sexually, it can just help you spiritually, and especially if you're a woman or identify with the experience of having your sexuality constantly repressed.
Yes. Yes. And I think that is a thing because the way we've grown up, and I talk about our cultural conditioning, the way we've grown up, it's like, okay, you were put here to please another human. You were put here to be pleased. And I mean, there's still cultures that the one the one thing that we have on our bodies that was specifically put there for pleasure is taken away
Mhm.
because they don't believe that the woman deserves pleasure. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the clitoris is the only part of our body that was made specifically for pleasure. And there are still, and I feel like it's very barbaric cultures in the world that cut it off. And I mean, that does cause medical issues down the road, but they take away, they take away the one thing that was our pleasure principle.
Yeah, because in a lot of cultures, you have men who want to control our sexuality. And for some, you can call it a spiritual practice, call it what you will. I'm going to call it this is just another way for oppressors to control female sexuality and sensuality.
It is. And it's also one of the things that I saw, it was so great. This a clip on Instagram where this gentleman was teaching young boys that just because you do something nice for a woman does not entitle you to access to said woman.
Okay.
Because his whole thing was like he gave her flowers and then he wanted a hug. And she said no. And so he was training these young men, these up and coming young men, to understand that just because you do something nice doesn't entitle you to access. And I wish that more young men were getting this training. I wish that he had classes for grown men because it's one of those things that dinner does not entitle you to my body.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about that is that that's a lesson that can go actually both ways because you have a lot of women on the other women or whoever identifies with the experience, people thinking that, oh well, this person did these nice things for me. Now I have to put out or he
Yeah.
spent this amount of money And I feel guilty if I don't give in to whatever he wants because he's so nice and he's giving me all these things. So
Right.
kind of teaching that lesson all the way
Oh,
around, like
well, and
take the
I,
transaction completely out of it.
yes. And I left out that part because then he did say to the boys that, say, whether it's a woman or another man, just because they're nice to you does not give them access to you. So, yes, I did leave that part out. And only because we were talking, kind of talking more about the male female dynamic in this moment. But overall, nobody deserves access to you just because. You have to want to give access and then receive pleasure, however that looks to you. So, one of the things I would love for you to do, and this isn't something I normally do when somebody's talking about their book, but I would love for you to just read an excerpt of the book just to give people an idea of what they'll be getting when they go order it.
Okay. Okay. So we definitely have like the nasty chapters, but I'm just going to save that for the people who actually read the book. We're going to go a little bit on the PG-13 side, but a very important lesson. So, one of the lessons, lesson number 2, is the best sex comes from a state of surrender. So, the best sex of your life doesn't always come from technique, stamina, or the Kama Sutra. It comes from the beautiful state of surrender. Not the kind of surrender that feels like defeat. I'm not talking about the kind that feels like, I'm talking about the kind that feels like exhaling after holding your breath for too long. The kind where your mind goes quiet and your body finally says, yes, I can trust this. Yes, I'm safe here. And yes, I can have sex from a place of ultimate trust and love. When I think about the most transcendent sex I've ever had, it was about connection, deep eye contact, breathing in rhythm like two instruments, and moving in a way that felt led by love and not just lust alone. That sacred space only exists when you can fully surrender. So that is probably one of my favorite chapters just because for a few of my, sexual encounters, I wasn't having sex from that place. Like I was actually having sex from the complete opposite place of a like, will he still like me tomorrow? Is he gonna call me tomorrow? And when you're having sex from that place, you almost don't, well, I almost didn't feel comfortable completely letting go because I didn't know if I showed this person my full self, are they just going to leave me and then I feel stupid and have buyer's remorse after? So by default, I couldn't have transcendent sex. And I realized like, no, you got to have sex with, building that trust and being able to surrender with the person because it's like, no, I'm 100% sure about who this person is. And I 100% trust them with every part of me. You're going to have a different kind of sex with that individual
Yes, yes.
than the will you still love me individual. It's gonna hit different.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. Because when you just let yourself go, there is such a level of freedom there. Because now it's not about performance, it's about being. It's not about, oh, I have to do. It's about receiving. And that is that is one of our feminine powers is to be able to receive, whether it's a compliment or what's happening in the bedroom or the dining table or outside, wherever it's happening. We're not going to limit it. But if you can just be all of who you are in those moments, yeah, it can be amazing. So, what did you learn about you as you were writing this book? So the question was, did you learn about yourself as you were writing this book?
Ooh. Okay, one of the most powerful things I learned while writing this book is after I was in the relationship where, sexual desire just took us out of the game, if you will, I reached out to, and when I wanted to write this book, I reached out to former partners to actually learn about myself,
Mm.
sexually and romantically. Now, one, that was a lesson in itself because I never thought to do that. But when I talked to my second boyfriend, who was the second person I ever had sex with, I asked him, like, what do you remember about me sexually? And one of the things he told me was, I just remember you didn't really seem that interested. Like you were sexy, I enjoyed you, but when I would ask you, "Hey, what do you want to try? You want to try these new things?" You would just say whatever you want to do. And it made me reflect back on, you know, how I was brought into sexuality. And I thought about it. When I was with that guy, initially I did not want to have sex with him. And I told him that, like, I don't really feel comfortable. But he knew I had already lost my virginity to someone else. So he started actually getting mad. And he would get mad at me and he would get upset. You did it to this other dude, and now I'm your boyfriend, but you can't even have sex with me. But you like, and so I
Wow.
ended up having sex from a, you know what, if I do this, he'll stop yelling and he'll just love me. So fine, let's do it. But I did it from a place of, all right, I just want you to love me. And so that was something very powerful. It taught me about how I was moving through the world with sex. I was using it as a tool for love. I was using it, let me have sex with this person so I can be held after. Or let me have sex with this person so they'll be more likely to want to be in a relationship with me, or so they'll want to stay in the relationship. So that was a very heavy lesson I learned while doing the research to write this book.
Wow. And there are a lot of single women over 40, which is my demographic, and a lot of them are still child free, again, my demographic, who are still in the space where this is how they're having sex because they haven't opened to the fact that, well, I mean, it's so cliche because we hear it all the time that love comes from within. And it's easy to say it, but it is harder to embody it, especially if you don't have somebody there with you who can reflect things back to you and who can hold you accountable. So wanting to have sex for love is kind of it's transactional. I mean, if we're going to get really technical, 9 times out of 10, sex is transactional. Whether you love the person you're surrendering, it's great, it's not great. It kind of is because it just kind of is. I don't want to fall down that particular rabbit hole today. But giving sex to get love is it's just really prevalent.
Yeah. And I think the thing about this specific transaction that's a problem, because sometimes a transaction, if I go to the store and I give my money and then I get my, bottled water, I'm cool with the transaction because I got what I wanted, you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
But I think what's happening for a lot of people, which is what makes it an awful transaction, is like you've given the best part of yourself, or what you think is like your a sacred experience with your heart, soul, and body. You've given this to someone and then you don't get anything in return and you're just left holding the stick. um, so I don't think there's anything necessarily inherently wrong with transactional sex if both parties are okay with the terms of the transaction and you're making sure that both of you are on the same page. So one of the things I talk about, one of the first lessons, I say, know your why. Like really, a lot of times we just treat sex the same way we treat hunger. Like, oh, I'm hungry. Let me, my hunger hormones are going off. Let me eat something. With sex, we can do the same thing. Like, oh, I'm getting that itch and he's here, he's breathing. Let me just go.
I like
Instead,
he's there and
he's here, he's breathing. Instead of going like, hold on, stop, hormones, step aside. Why am I doing this? What do I want out of it? And if it's a thing where I'm like, I actually want this man to love me, and that is what I want out of this situation. When you think about it, it's like, oh, okay, well, if that's what I want, then to lead with sex, might not be the best thing for my spirit. Like, one, that's not the best bait to get love in a lot of situations. And two, again, you don't want to have buyer's remorse after you've given something so sacred, um, for essentially a letdown.
Right. And during, even again, if it's good, your nervous system isn't always calm because your body already knows that you're going into this for not necessarily the right reason.
Yeah.
So your nervous system's already on high alert. And when you talked about trust and surrender, your nervous system at that point is not on high alert. Is
Yeah.
like you said, it's the exhale. And then you can just be there fully present, fully you.
Yeah. And
So
then it could work a number on your self-esteem too. Not to say, and at the end of the day, I don't judge anyone's lifestyle. If you are the woman and woman, man, or non-binary who people can come have sex with you, reject you the next day, and it doesn't, hit you emotionally or spiritually, that's fine. Continue to live your life in a way that you see fit. But for a lot of us, we pretend like, oh, well, I don't care. But as our self-worth and self-esteem kind of gradually keeps taking hit after hit when we engage in those behaviors, because no one wants to feel disregarded. Well, I know I sure don't. I think most people don't want to feel disregarded after experiences like that.
yeah, exactly. And not all women are, our brains are different. The male brain is different than the female brain. And men have a tendency to be able to compartmentalize. So I have, my brain is a room, it's a house. It's got these 6 rooms in it. Sex is in one room, work is in one room, play is in another room. And women, they have a house that is more designed as an open as an open space. It's open room concept. So many women don't compartmentalize as well as men because it's an open room concept. So all the things are in that room.
Yeah. And in knowing, and it's, when you talk about the difference between the male and the female brain, so women, for example, we have more oxytocin that gets released when we have sex. So for people that don't know, oxytocin, that is the attachment hormone. So when women have babies, because some animals, they'll have a baby and they'll just leave their young. Human babies actually need to be nurtured by their mother. So we have like a biological hormone in place so that when we have a child, it lets out a lot of oxytocin in our brains, which is the attachment hormone. And that's what makes us stay with that baby. I mean, we call it love, and it is love, but it's also, it's a hormonal change in the brain. The same thing happens when we have sex. So when you have sex with someone, it might be someone that you don't really even like that much, but you'll notice after you continuously have sex with that person, you'll find yourself getting more and more connected. And that's not just your emotions. It's like that's emotions, but that's also your biology. So you have to also think about, in knowing your brain, who do you want to give that power to? So me knowing that, all right, if I interact with someone sexually, attachment hormones are going to be released in my mind to make me want that person. Who is worthy of my attachment? Who is worthy of that? Do I want to give that person that power? Like that's something you can think about on the front end if you know yourself and you know how you work.
Right. Now, y'all, you might have to Google this because I could be wrong, but I think um, that for every orgasm you have with a person, the oxytocin is released and you're attached to them for 2 to 3 weeks.
I don't I don't know, I would have to Google it too, but I know in my reading, I read something about when you interact with someone, you want to wait like 4 to 5 days before making some kind of big decision around them. Like if you want to be with them, like after 4 or 5 days, some of the oxytocin like wears off a little bit and you're making a decision from a more unclouded place. But like you, it's just like I forgot the exact specifics.
Okay, y'all. I
But
think
there is a time. There's a
I
time on
might
it
have to do
though.
this
Find the time.
because yes, I'm crazy making. So
Like how long is that going to last?
you guys, I do this all the time. Something comes up, and it's like I want to know the answer. Like, so don't mind me. I to look this up and if I could only type that in.
Yeah, it's like how long would witchcraft last?
I'm going to say after orgasm.
And men release oxytocin too. They just don't release as much. So that's why you see, women getting way more attached sooner. And it's funny because a lot of guys will be like, "Oh yeah, she attached to the dick," and and I don't want to pop anyone's bubble, but a part of me is just like, it's a whole like chemical hormone going off in her brain. Your dick could have been mediocre, and she had this attachment. So okay.
Yes. Okay. So you're right. It was 48 hours. It can extend for up to 48 hours.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, there's more, but y'all just Google the rest. It could extend for up to 48 hours. But imagine if you're doing this like on a regular basis, then
Yeah.
there's gonna be some buildup there, right?
Mm,
Because you're not giving yourself enough time to do the release.
yeah.
So I
You're
think, yeah,
yeah,
I
you're
think that's when I was in one of Alison Armstrong's class. That's probably where the weak thing came in because it's constant. Now there's buildup, 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 and there's no release.
yeah.
So things to think about when
Yeah.
you're being discerning about
Right.
who you're giving yourself to.
Yes. Do I want to be under this man's spell? Because that's what happens. And then, you can't make, your judgment isn't the greatest because then, he might do some, or, the other way around, the person might do some BS. And normally you might flag it and walk away from it,
Mhm.
but they've pretty much sexed you into, you know what? He did this awful thing to me, but maybe he just had a hard day.
Right?
Start getting into that territory where you can't think straight because that attachment hormone is just like, no, stay attached.
Right. Because again, there's there's the term digmatized. And if it's really good, you can totally get digmatized. Been there, been there.
Yeah. I think
But
we've all had that dick that came along and
but at the same time, there was a there was the biological response to it. And the oh Lord, you really know what you're doing with that tool
yeah,
response to
there
it.
is that. There is that. There's like, oh, you have a specific set of skills that now that I'm exposed to, I don't want to give up.
Right? Because I mean, I know I have stayed in at least one relationship way longer than I should have because the sex was just really good.
Yeah.
It was just really good. And intellectually, it was like, Sophia, walk away. And then there was the other part of me that it's like, are you going to get this again? So yeah, that was a lot of scarcity thinking. I mean, everybody doesn't have skills. I wish everybody could just come with skills, both male and female.
Well, if you read my book, then shameless plug.
No, please plug the book because I want people to read the book, and that's the thing. We, how long do most people take to choose a car, right? It's like, I want this feature and that feature. It's got to be this color and that color. And you spend all this time choosing the car. Do you spend that much time choosing who you're going to give your essence to? Because from a spiritual perspective, when you're with somebody, their essence stays with you.
Yeah.
So again, discernment. Whose essence do you want staying with you? Because
Yeah.
they deposit a little piece of themselves, don't you? So,
And then and it's so funny because people say that from a spiritual standpoint, even from a scientific standpoint, like your skin, your epidermis, like it absorbs things. When you're around someone and you guys are locked in passion and they're sweating and their skin is touching your skin, it's like you're absorbing parts of their being, like not even just on a spiritual, metaphysical in that way. It's like, no, in a very real way,
yeah.
even in your womb, like you're bringing whatever that man is sweating out in his pores. It may be the base of his shaft that might not have the condom on it, and you're going in. That stuff is getting in your womb. It's getting in your sacred space, whatever's coming out of that man's pores. So some taking in the essence of the other person, that's definitely a thing when you're having sex with someone. And again, you just have to ask yourself, is this person worth it?
Right. And I think we need to take time to figure that out. Now, I'm not, if you're, and again, not here to judge anybody because judging you would be judging me.
Yeah.
So we're not doing that. But the thing is, if you're in the throes of passion and you want to do what you want to do, go for it.
Yeah.
But there's no takesy backsy, right? There's no return on that. There's not a 30-day return policy there or a 10-day return policy with receipt. It's done.
Nope.
So just if it's what you want, then go for it. But just know before what you want. And are you ready? Are you ready for the consequences? Because consequences aren't always bad, but there are consequences to every decision that we make, every choice that we make. There is a consequence. So forget the movie, but I always remember there are consequences and repercussions.
Oh, yeah.
So when you make choices, just remember that part of it. So nobody gets to force you into anything. Nobody gets to get mad and guilt you into anything because you're a sovereign being
Yeah.
and you get to decide for yourself.
Yep. And then also, just respecting the rules of engagement and knowing whether you can emotionally handle whatever you're signing up for. 'Cause
Mm.
I've also seen, I guess, coming from the woman, and I've seen friends, for example, they go into, casual sexual situations with someone, and it's like, oh, we're not going to be, like, oh, I'm cool. We don't have to be in a relationship. But then they start having sex with the person, developing that attachment. And now it's like your self-esteem is taking a hit because now you want a relationship with this person who doesn't want you, but for someone who told you they didn't want you from jump,
Right.
and you still decided to have sexual intercourse with them. So, if you do decide, like you said, like if you decide to engage in casual encounters, that's fine, but be honest with yourself around whether you are truly built for that. Think about what happened the last time you had your casual encounters. How are you left feeling? Where are those guys now? Not all of them are blocked on your phone. Well, maybe don't go that route again, So.
Right. Well, and I think there's so many things to consider. If I was If I were to liken some of this to some of the things that I found out about food, I'm like, I might have to be on the air diet because you can't, I just, some of the things I just found out how they're washing my vegetables. I'm like, now I can't buy those. So then you stop and think, well, what can I eat? Because there's so much going on with all the food. So if you think about all the things with sex, it's like, can I really have sex anymore? And the answer is yes. You just find a different way. You get resourceful, you get discerning,
Yeah.
and you get with you,
Yeah.
right? Because your body will tell you every time, every time. So listen. And I think as women, sometimes, especially high achieving women, is busy, 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 go, go, go. And not, let me stop. Let me reflect. Let's just take a moment for me and listen to what my body say. Listen to what's in my heart. Listen to how my intuition works. Because for some people, their intuition really is around that sacral center where the creativity is, and that's where everything comes up. For other people, it's in the third eye. That's where things come up. But are you slowing down enough to hear? Everybody has a way that it shows up for them. But are they slowing down enough to hear? Or you're just rushing into everything? So let's rush into the relationship. Let's rush into sex. Let's rush into, and then, a couple months down the line, it's like, I don't like this person because I didn't take time to listen to me so I could collect enough data on them to recognize if I even really like this person or
Yeah.
if they're a good person for somebody else because their behaviors or some of their beliefs don't align with yours or their value system doesn't align with yours, you know? So I think these are things that also play into it. So I'm not telling anybody, don't, leave men alone. No, I'm not singing that song because I'm not trying to leave men alone.
Yeah. No.
I'm just not. So I am definitely not singing that song. I'm not in that camp. But I'm saying be discerning about and again, I tend to talk in male female dynamics, but anybody who's listening, whatever dynamic you're in, male female, female female, everybody, doesn't matter. It's the same thing because as long as you're having sexual relations with somebody, these are things that you want to consider.
And then I guess the other piece to that is because you do have some people who do, they practice discernment with other people, but there's not enough self-reflection and scrutiny on how they move themselves through the sexual landscape.
Mhm.
Because that was also, a powerful lesson that I had to learn too. If I'm moving through, even if I'm out having fun and doing the thing, there's a way where you move through the sexual landscape as a healer. Like if you're gonna have a sexual experience with me, if we're gonna, take it, if we're gonna extend our friendship on that level, I want this to be a positive experience and I want this to heal you in some way. Um, I used to sometimes, I would treat sex like an adrenaline rush. Like it's something that I was doing in the heat of passion, but having very little to no regard for like that man's actual feelings and what that would mean for him. I'm just like, men like sex. I'm horny right now. Fuck it. Let's do it. Whereas like that's not always the most, I had to look at myself too. Like,
Mm.
what are you adding to this landscape that might feed into some of the negative dynamics we see now?
Mm.
So, so yeah, it's important to put up that little self-reflection mirror.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a thing. 'Cause I think I've gone in the opposite direction of, okay, yeah, I'm really discerning, discern, 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 and then not really jumping out to be a lot in the sexual landscape. So it's like the journey can be longer.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And then
that's okay though, but at the same time, it is about self-reflection because it's like, well, why are you choosing not to be in this place? But one of the things that I recognize about me is that a lot of times I was settling for people who liked me, not necessarily I liked them. And then there were people who were nice people. I wasn't attracted to them, So now I have to look at that and it's like what I know about me is I have to be sexually attracted to this person.
yeah,
And I really want to like to look at them.
yeah,
Because if this is somebody that I'm going to be spending time with, I want to be able to like just look at you and just enjoy the view. Now, I'm not saying, oh, I got to have a GQ model and it got to look like this and it's got to look like that. No, I'm just saying that Sophia needs to like to look at this person, regardless of what other people might think. I need to like to look at him, right? And so I know that about me. And so I had to stop just, you know, well, although I have to say that sometimes people do get more attractive as you get to know them, but sometimes they just don't,
yeah,
so I give people a chance and like see is the attraction there? Can it build based on their character and their personality? Because sometimes that is just so attractive that
yes,
when you start to look, that's like, yes, I do like to look at this person because I'm seeing the inner beauty of them. And the outer beauty is coming together for me. And it has worked in reverse for me too, because I have gone out with some like, oh my God, like extraordinary. Like I'm looking and it's just, my God. And then I get to know them. It's like, oh my God.
yep,
And then I got to bounce because now the character's not there. It's not the inner beauty. There isn't, it's like, where's the inner beauty? It's not matching the outside, you know? So you have to get to know yourself
I
and
call it
not
like I
just
give
go for
my
the superficial.
yeah, I give my vagina a voice. Like my vagina is an entity. Like her name is Sade. She has a name and everything.
Ooh.
Yeah, because you when you think about things with a certain energy, it changes how you interact with the thing. So my vagina used to be named, I used to call it Israel, because I was like, yeah, it's a promised land for the chosen. But now it was all of this like global conflict, and I'm like, I don't want my pussy associated with war. So I changed it. I'm like, what embodies the essence of this thing? And I thought about Sade. I'm like, Sade is calm. Sade is sultry. She's sexy. When you listen to the music, it makes you feel warm, safe, good, calm. And I'm just like, yeah, that's you. But when I meet people, I think of her like Sade is her own thing. So I might like someone mentally and go, yo, this person is great. But then I got to check in with Sade, like, hey, Sade, what do we think? And if Sade is not feeling it, I can't force someone onto Sade. Sade is just like, hey, I'm sorry, it's desert for me. And instead of trying to force it, just going like, Sade, I respect it. I respect it. It's not, he or she is meant to be a friend.
How about that? It's like, no, no, just no. that 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 is a different take on things. I like having different perspectives presented to me because that is a different perspective. Now, I do refer to body as her, and sometimes I will talk to myself in the third because, well, I just do. And I just talk to myself a lot anyway, so whatever. But I never thought about, well, let's give her a separate name. So
Yeah.
Bonnie and I, we're gonna have to look in the mirror eye to eye and discuss that and see if that's something we need to do because it might not be. It might not be right for us. It might have to be a whole body thing for us. But for somebody else who's listening, it's an option if you haven't already done it.
It totally work. And what's funny, because I would host kind of these like sex and magic workshops, where people, it's just a nice open sexual education space, and that would be one of the activities for people to name their, genitals with the essence that they would like to bring with their, whatever their sexual essence is, the spirit of it. And it's funny because the guys would pick these very just masculine references. Like the women, it'd be like, oh, butterfly. And then the men, it'd be like, the dark night.
So yeah, the butterfly really wants to meet the Dark Knight.
But no, but you know what? But I will say, because I remember the guy who said the Dark Knight, I liked his explanation because he's like, it's powerful, but it's also a protector. And I was just like,
Okay. Okay, I can get with that
yeah,
explanation.
I'm like, okay, okay. I could do a little Dark Knight action now. Thought they could do a Dark Knight.
But that's so funny because when you think about the names, like you're introducing them. So butterfly, meet Dark Knight. Butterfly be like, I don't know about that.
But it's so funny. They might be exactly what
What
the
each
other
other needed,
is,
unless,
you know?
Butterfly looked at Dark Knight like, okay, this is the bumblebee coming to, or not bumblebee, but the honeybee coming to pollinate. So protecting but strong. Yeah.
Yeah, it could
Okay.
go either way. And the
I'm
Dark
all in
Knight.
my head now, making up stories.
Yeah, I know we're going deep, but yeah.
I could do that forever. Just start spinning things, and then all of a sudden, if I, if there were a device, and I'm sure it's coming out if it's not already here, that you can just connect so that when I'm having these stories just pop up, if it could just auto record. Because
Mhm.
when I go to write stuff down after, it sounds so amazing in my head, but then the words don't come out the same way. So then when you read it, it's like, that's not what was in my head. That's not what I thought in the shower. It was great in the shower. Now I can't get it down on paper.
Then lost in translation.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I'm sure Eli Musk probably got something going on. I have to ask him. You got one of those?
Yeah, he's working on it. He's
He's
working
got
on
to be.
some stuff.
But anyway, tell us where we can find the book because that's important.
Okay, so forgive me, but the book is currently, it's on Amazon. So you can get the hardcover, soft cover, or the Kindle version on Amazon. 40 Sex Lessons from Me to You.
Okay, so you heard it. You can find the book on Amazon in all its forms. So you can, if you're like me and you like to hold a physical book and turn pages, you can do that. If you like to read on the go, you can do that. And I'm going to make a declaration right now that at some point in the near future, you are going to be able to listen to it
Yes.
as you do whatever it is you do when you're listening to your audiobooks. So I'm putting that out there right now, my mouth to God's ear, that you're going to be able to do that shortly.
Yep. It's already, we already got the Rode mic. That's already in the works. So yes.
Perfect. Well, Jasmine, it's been such a pleasure having you here. I love the conversation and I love that people are going to go buy your book. Yes, because I am plugging the book. And if you guys aren't following me, I am on Instagram, two separate accounts, because well, that's how I roll. So you can find me at Create Life Your Way or Sophia_I_ got underscore IG. There's a whole story behind that. You can listen to one of my vlog or one of my podcasts about that. I did a solo and gave you the whole explanation of why that name. But you can follow both of them because you're going to get different content on each. And you can also find me on Facebook at Sophia E. So follow me and buy Jasmine's book. All right. I will talk to you soon. And everybody, until the next time.